What are we looking on the slate for October?
On the first day of October, Wake Forest comes to Tallahassee to take on the Demon Deacons, of course, a team that Florida State lost to by 3 touchdowns last year. They go to NC State on October 8th, again, another team that Florida State lost to in 2021. The Clemson games at home on October 15th, so 3 difficult opponents in a row before a bye week. And then concluding the month is Georgia Tech at home in Tallahassee. So 3 out of 4 at home, 3 consecutive against Wake Forest, NC State on the road, and Clemson the bye week, and Georgia Tech at home.
So a Wake Forest team that blew us out last year, an NC State team that beat us convincingly. Just saying it, both games started by Mackenzie Milton. Just throwing that out there for a second. Then you've got a Clemson team we haven't beaten since 2014. And then a Georgia Tech team that beat us in Mike Norvell's first game as head coach. I'm just going to say it. I don't think that this will happen. But, Logan, convince me why, judging the way Florida State has played the last 4 seasons, last 5 seasons, even let's go back to 2017, where they have underachieved the last 5 seasons. Talk me off the ledge that Florida State goes 0 for October. We went 0 for September last year. Talk me off the ledge that Florida State goes 0 for October, because I think there is a chance. I think we could, in a best case scenario, if we want to say best case, worst case, I think best case in October is we go 2 for 2, where we beat Wake Forest and we beat Georgia Tech, and I think we lose to NC State and lose to Clemson. But realistically, we could lose to Wake. We always seem to lose at Raleigh against NC State. Clemson, I think, is still the team we that is the class of the ACC Atlantic. I know that Wake Forest won the Atlantic last year, but I think it's still Clemson's division to win. And then Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech is a 3-9 team that beat us with a blocked field goal return for a touchdown in 2015. They're a team that somehow beat us in 2020, the beginning of the 3-6 Mafia year. Convince me why we're not going to go 0 for October.
Convince you. You get the bye week before Georgia Tech. I mean, that's going to be a rough stretch going from Wake Forest all the way past NC State to Clemson. So you get the bye week before Georgia Tech. So you feel optimistic Florida State will get that win, and it's at home. So definitely want some revenge there too. And then, I think the biggest thing with the Wake Forest is, they've lost a few guys too, but they bring back Sam Hartman, which has seemed to, dice up Florida State's defense a few times. And it seems like he'll never, ever graduate too. So I guess we'll see him in a couple of years also. But I think Florida State, and like you had mentioned earlier, Jordan Travis was available, then also couldn't play in one of the games. I think Florida State, with Jordan Travis being the sole starter last year, I think they definitely beat NC State. But I think Florida State, worst case 2-2, best case 3-1,
worst case 2-2.
Yeah, I think that's the worst case.
Okay, so you say best case 3-1, worst case 2-2.
Logan,
confident. So by that right now, Logan is saying so far through October, best case 7-1, worst case. What'd you say was September was worst case 2-2?
Yeah, that's
so 2-2. Yeah. So you say best case 7-1, worst case 4-4 at this point.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say best case 2-2 in October.
2-2.
I think we pull off an upset against Wake Forest, and I think we beat Georgia Tech. I hate playing in Raleigh, and I think Clemson is still just slightly better than us right now. So I think best case right now we are 5-3. Worst case, we could go 0-4. So I think worst case we're 2-6 at this rate. So let's go there.
I was gonna say the good thing about this is that this puts you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this gets you all right. So you're through the first bit of the season, and you got a lot of guys getting experience too, right. Even young guys. I mean, there was a lot of young starters that were starting to emerge there at the latter half of the season who ended up starting games. I I like that this is kind of near the mid pack to where you're kind of, you know what you're rocking with, you know what you're rolling, you've got your depth, you know what you got. If someone goes down, definitely offensive line wise, you know who you're plugging in there, because that was something Florida State was struggling with last year, and you saw it against Clemson too, numerous times, just having to shuffle in guys that hadn't even played the damn position before.
So in a perfect world, Pauly Positive over there at Noel Game Day thinks 7-1. In a perfect world, stars align, 7-1. I think 5-3. So we're still in good shape right now. It's not the end of the world. The sky is not falling through October. Then we head into November. Then we head into the money month.
Okay, so my October, I don't want to be Mr. Obvious, but what's the best case scenario? 4-0. The best case scenario is 4-0. They can beat all four of those teams. The worst case is 0-4. So
well, obviously that's yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Captain Obvious. Yes,
that is being Captain Obvious.
But
so
realistically,
I always thought the game best case scenario, worst case scenario was kind of stupid to a certain extent, because the best case scenario is they go 12-0.
Okay, so what is your realistic? What you're realistic for October?
I don't think that there should be any way that they lose to Georgia Tech coming off a bye week at home against Georgia Tech. They should win that game.
We shouldn't have lost them.
They should win that game 90-some% of the time. The other three are difficult, but they need to win one of those three. So I'm going to say that they're going to go 2-2 after they're 3-1.
So you're with me, 5-3 right now. You think they'll be 5-3?
I'm at 5-3, but
So
that's
you
not
and
a
I are
best case
5-3.
scenario. That's a projection.